covered a restoration operation before?
First time for everything. You restore, I document.
Federal law is back in town.
And we're here to prove it.
Portland is burning, and Trump just put out the fire. The Ninth Circuit, yes, the most liberal court in America, just handed the president emergency authority to deploy the National Guard. MSNBC's legal correspondent nearly fainted on air when the ruling came down. Democrat mayors are threatening to arrest federal troops. California's Attorney General is vowing to block the deployment in court. But here's what's really happening. In Memphis, after just 1 week of Guard presence, kids are playing outside again. Crime has vanished. The violent felons are off the streets. Even Trump's critics are admitting it's working. Liberal cities are in full panic because law and order is their kryptonite. Wait till you see what happens next. And speaking of taking control when chaos erupts, let me tell you about Chuck Norris. At 84 years old, this American icon just revealed his secret to staying combat ready. While liberal cities crumble and need military intervention, Chuck maintains the strength and energy of someone decades younger. He made a shocking video showing how he is still working out, still defending freedom, with energy left for his grandkids. The secret? Adding 3 key factors that sabotage our bodies as we age. His wife started following his method. She looks leaner, feels younger, has energy all day. When America needs warriors, we need to be ready. Watch Chuck's breakthrough video at chuckdefense.com/next or click below, because real Americans don't wait for the Guard. We stay prepared. The link, chuckdefense.com/next. So the tweets and posts we've collected now show the complete meltdown happening in Democrat-controlled cities as Trump restores order. Here it is, California. They want to take on the federal government. California Attorney General vows to block Trump bringing in the National Guard to San Francisco. California Rep. Zoe Lofgren says the San Francisco District Attorney is ready to arrest and prosecute any agents who don't follow their law. Ready for this? Watch.
The U.S. Secretary of at a Florida press conference, the U.S. Secretary of Homeland Security doubled down on the National Guard presence in Chicago and Portland and indicated San Francisco is next, following comments from President Trump on Fox News Sunday.
We're going to make it great. We're going to make it great. It'll be great. Again, San Francisco is a great city. It won't be great if it keeps going like this. We're going to go to San Francisco. The difference is I think they want us in San Francisco.
Attorney General Rob Bonta responded to those threats, saying, we're ready to be in court in hours, if not minutes, if the National Guard is deployed to San Francisco.
And I saw that the district attorney in San Francisco indicated that if these ICE agents violate the law in San Francisco, as they have in Chicago, she intends to prosecute them, and she should.
There is no lawful basis to deploy the National Guard to San Francisco. Period. Full stop. End of story. So what can we do? We'll see him in court, as we always have. When he wrongfully and unlawfully deployed troops to L.A., we saw him in court. We got 2 orders, blocking, 1, the federalization, and 2, the actions on the ground that violated the Posse Comitatus Act. We'll do that again. Immediately. We're ready. We see this coming.
Big talk, no timetable yet on when the National Guard could show up. Would it be days, weeks? We don't know. As you heard, the state of California says it's ready. And within the past...
California's ready, huh? But in Memphis, citizens are plotting and they won't let the National Guard there. What's this? And it was sad as Memphis citizens. Democrats destroyed Memphis. Yeah, they don't want the National Guard in San Francisco, but Memphis is celebrating. People are registering their cars now in Memphis because of the National Guard. Here it is. Trump isn't sending the National Guard to fight crime. He's sending them to stage chaos. That's what Sakit Chakabari writes. Crime in San Francisco is at historic lows. He says he's wasting taxpayer money on the world's most expensive street cleaning program.
Nothing to do with crime. When I hear Trump talk about this, what I'm hearing is taxpayer dollars being set on fire. Because he's saying he's going to send National Guard into San Francisco to clean up crime. Crime in San Francisco is at a historic low right now, right? What's the national...
What about all those businesses that left San Francisco? Because there were open-air drug markets, right, operating outside of their businesses. No, San Francisco is a shithole. All right? People, there's a map, a poop map for San Francisco. Did you know that? Yeah. So you can avoid it. People are literally tagging where people are pooping in San Francisco and putting it on a map to warn others.
What's the Guard going to do? They're not going around picking up drug dealers off the street or criminals off the street. In D.C., they're going around picking trash off the street. It's the world's most expensive beautification program, right? And so you're against beautification? Has nothing to do with crime. Somehow we have all this money for the National Guard, for ICE, but no money for healthcare, right? This has nothing to do with crime. What this has to do is he wants to create chaos and lawlessness, and he's hoping that some protesters are going to throw a rock and create conflict. So then he has his excuse to declare martial law. But we just saw 7 million people protest on the streets through No Kings, and there was zero violence and zero arrests. So I don't think he's going to get what...
Yeah, we'll see how that works out. 6 hours ago, Nancy Pelosi is furious over Trump's effort to deploy the National Guard to San Francisco to fight crime. Quote, San Francisco does not want or need Donald Trump's chaos, she said. Our city takes great pride in the steps we've taken to significantly increase public safety and reduce crime without the interference of a president seeking headlines. Quote, here's a quote from Gavin Newsom. President Trump will ruin San Francisco by bringing in the National Guard and cleaning it up. Gavin Newsom is claiming President Trump will ruin San Francisco. Too late, because Gavin Newsom already did. This is San Francisco. You want to take your kids there? If you do, avoid this area. ABC 7. We just don't need it. It's not right. It's un-American. San Franciscans aren't going to have it. Supervisor Raphael Mandelman. We are not looking for a fight with the federal government, but if the fight comes to us, we will be able to respond. San Francisco leader calls Trump's threat to the National Guard un-American. City Attorney David Hsu threatening to take President Trump to court if he deploys the Guard to San Francisco. But here's a boy in Memphis, quite happy about President Trump sending in the Guard.
Like how peace. My name is Braylon, and I live here in Memphis. I've been noticing not just a slight change, more of a detrimental change in like how peaceful Memphis is ever since the National Guard came. There was a lot of things I couldn't do before the National Guard came because I had to worry a lot about guns and stuff. I couldn't play because I was worried that somebody might pull out a gun or something, but now I could do that, and I just wanted to thank the President of the United States for bringing the National Guard. My name is Braylon, and I live here.
Braylon wants to thank President Trump. God bless that little boy. Now he can go outside and play. So check this out. Here's a guy who's dead set against Trump sending the National Guard and allowing the police and military to flood Memphis, but seeing that crime is down and it's been peaceful after 1 week by getting convicted murderers and armed felons off the streets, looks like he's singing a different tune.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. I think it's true time. I was against pretty much everything that was coming towards Memphis. I was against his National Guard, all these different police units, all this military, all this shit. I was against all this shit coming to the end, right? Especially when I was the one learning shit about Memphis and how the crime been down 25% than it has in like hella years and shit. Like Memphis been doing good. We just had the most peaceful summer in a long little time. Just for these folks to still come with this shit. I was against this shit, bro. And then I seen the numbers after the first week of rounding up niggas. These folks then got 16 convicted murderers off the streets in 1 week. Black people. I know there's a lot of Memphis folks, somehow all the niggas gone now and they over here, the police pulling over all the good, hard-working people. Hey, if that was the case, I'm sorry. But I can't wholeheartedly say they doing a bad thing now that I just seen them numbers, bro. I'm gonna just be honest. And I'm a real Memphis nigga. I love my city. I love once again, nigga, this where I'm at. As I wait on the motherfucking bud.
See? He's singing a new tune. San Francisco ready to push back. They're going to ignore these stories. Here's FBI Deputy Director Dan Bongino on the president's directive to him and the FBI Director Kash Patel to crush violent crime.
He says to the president early on with regards to this crush and violent crime, whether it's in San Francisco, Chicago, any other major city. Early on, this is kind of the untold story of this op. I get appointed, announced in February, come in March. Kash is there a little bit earlier. President brings us in early, and in essence, this is kind of the behind the scenes, guys. He says to us, you know, listen, I'm a builder. I'm in a lot of these big cities. He has just zero tolerance for violent crime. He just does. He drives around Washington, D.C. on these OTRs, off-the-record movements. He sees homelessness, crime. He can't stand it. He says, what do we got to do to fix this? And we basically lay out a bunch of things, and his answer is very simple. President's like, go get them, boys. Go get them. That was it. Like, you do what you have to do. So we got in there, Kash and I, and we brought in the best SACs, special agents in charge across the country, guys who had forgotten more about crime and enforcing it than most people ever know. They've done this their whole lives. One of them we pulled in from Phoenix. He had an amazing job out there. We said, hey, his name's Joe. I said, Joe, you tell me what we need to do to go get these demon savages off the street. Tell me what we need to do. We brought in a violent crime roundtable of the best crim agents in the country. We figured out a battle plan, how to kind of water balloon. You know, when you squeeze a water balloon, you get a bulge. How do we bulge agents here and then bulge agents there? And we cleaned up at the president's direction, the director and I, with the SACs and the agents in the field. We water ballooned around the country and made, get a load of this, guys. This is going to trip you out. 28,000 violent crime arrests in 2025, and the year's not even over. You say, oh, well, what does that mean? Put it in comparison. Prior 3-4 years, the FBI under prior leadership had averaged about 15,000, 16,000. We're at 28,000. 28,000. We're not even done with the year. We haven't even hit Thanksgiving or Christmas yet. Shows you when you get a president, an attorney general, a deputy attorney general, and an FBI leadership team that lets the FBI do FBI work instead of getting into other nonsense in the past. Look what happens. Your cities get cleaner. The president.
Cities get cleaner. San Francisco next on the list. Here is MSNBC legal correspondent Lisa Rubin, visibly upset after learning the Ninth Circuit's just issued emergency motion authorizes Trump to deploy the Guard to Portland.
Absolutely correct. It is a big deal. And I want to just correct one thing and then explain why functionally it is the same. This is a stay of Judge Immergut's opinion. And that's why it reached the Ninth Circuit as soon as it did, because this is an emergency motion to essentially pause her order. But as a functional matter, you are absolutely correct. It has the function of overturning her order and thereby allowing the president to send the National Guard back onto the streets of Portland. And Katie, I want to read, if I can, just from a little bit of the beginning of this 93-page opinion. It says, after considering the record, and by the record they mean all the factual evidence at this preliminary stage, we conclude that it is likely that the president lawfully exercised his statutory authority under 10 U.S.C. Section 12406. That's the statute we've been referring to as Title 10 when we have conversations about the National Guard deployments, which authorizes the federalization of the National Guard when the president is unable with the regular forces to execute the laws of the United States. And this is the important part. The evidence the president relied on reflects, quote, a colorable assessment of the facts and law within a range of honest judgment. We thus conclude that defendants are likely to succeed on the merits of their appeal, basically saying that when and if a court considers all of the record in this matter is tried and it gets back to an appellate court through an ordinary process where they have full briefing and full evidence, that they still think Donald Trump is likely to prevail there because he has the discretion to determine as the president within a range of honest judgment when it is reasonable to deploy the Guard.
This is what you and I were talking about last week. When you get into the slippery slope
she is definitely worked up over that. President Trump scoring a win, and that means scenes like this in Memphis are going to play out in San Francisco, Chicago, other cities around the nation. Yeah, here's another one. Oregon Congresswoman Maxine Dexter, a Democrat, as a meltdown because the court ruled Trump can send the guard to Portland. Democrats want you living in a lawless, chaotic society with criminals freely roaming the streets and controlling your neighborhoods. Here she is.
Resistance to Donald. Maxine Dexter, Oregon 3rd, checking in after what I would say is an indefensible ruling by the Ninth Circuit that opens the door to National Guard troops being deployed in our peaceful city. Let's just be clear. Portland is not lawless. We have been extraordinary in our resistance to Donald Trump's fairy tale about our city. We have remained peaceful, persistent, and clear that we do not bend the knee to Donald Trump and his wannabe kingmanship. And we will continue to be so. This ruling must be challenged, and we must remain steadfast in our peaceful resistance to Donald Trump, the tyranny he is trying to take onto our cities and across this country, and what I would say is an extraordinarily dangerous precedent by militarizing our city and moving towards a dictatorship. We will be united. We will remain peaceful. I was just in D.C. trying to work out how we were going to get out of this government shutdown, and I'm heading back to Portland now so I can be with you tomorrow. Let's continue to stay loud, stay peaceful, and I'll see you soon.
Yeah, tell that to the Antifa folks who are firebombing the ICE facility there. Here, James Klug interviewing Antifa about their illegal encampment near the ICE facility.
Another side,
So we have the ICE facility down there, just maybe 200 feet away. This is your guys' camp right here. You guys staying here overnight? How does this work?
We kind of have to. We've had folks from the other side, MAGA chuds, try to set shit on fire, and with people sleeping in here.
What is a chud?
Fascist, MAGA, it's just another word. Yeah, this is our community area. We provide snacks, water, things for folks that are out here protesting and fighting the good fight.
And is this what? This is your guys' group? This is just community coming by, dropping everything off? Sorry, I'll come through
community. Here. None of this is being funded by anyone but the community trying to support itself and each other.
Yeah.
This is what community actually looks like. Folks coming together to show solidarity.
And then you guys are on a public sidewalk. Have you had any trouble with Portland police or anything? Have they come by trying to shut this down at all or no?
Yeah, they have a couple times.
The thing is, we have permission from the school, written permission to be on this sidewalk.
This is a school sidewalk right here?
Yeah.
What kind of school is it? Do you know?
It used to be an elementary school. They had to close down and move, though, because of all the chemical munitions. It was literally poisoning the earth.
Yeah, and let me put it this way. Last night, they gassed 3 or 4 blocks up that way, this whole thing, and up that way. And it wasn't because anyone attacked them. It wasn't because anyone threw anything at them, put hands on them, pushed them, or anything. Is they wanted a photo op. 4 or 5 blocks to do so.
So the school shut down because of the tear gas?
Yep.
Well, hold on, you guys. Would they be deploying that tear gas if the demonstrations weren't happening?
I see what you're trying to do with that, man. Like I said, unfortunately, we have to fight the good fight because people are being kidnapped, and people don't deserve to just be picked up and taken.
So the school was a casualty in all of this, basically?
Yeah.
How long do you guys expect all of this stuff to last when it comes to the demonstrators? Are you guys providing this stuff to people that, when tear gas is going off? Are you guys, what are you guys doing with that stuff?
I'm one of the medics on the ground.
You're one of the medics? Okay.
Yeah.
Where'd you get the training to be a medic for that?
I got training in California.
Okay.
When I was still there.
And is that with your job, or was that with
that was through
maybe
school, but at this point now I just provide my services to the folks who need it. There's a lot of folks that don't get medical care, can't get medical care, and there's also a lot of folks that I've seen just laying on the ground dying, and people just walk past them not giving a damn.
Yeah, you wouldn't need medical care if you're peacefully protesting.
I've seen it in Portland. It's a sad thing.
And how are you going to walk past someone dying and be like, oh, I guess that's not my problem? The lack of humanity is sad.
Who do you blame for that here?
I blame the lack of humanity. A lot of people have lost a sense of humanity. We've become so desensitized that we don't see people as people anymore.
Do you think Portland's done a good...
Portland. Well, the Ninth Circuit just had their ruling. Here's independent journalist Nick Sortor. He requires armed security to be on the ground in Portland because there are no cops in sight, only strengthening the argument to have the National Guard go in and clean it up.
And Sean, that's why now I'm all the way down the street with 3 armed security guards because, even though it's early in the day and the real large group of rioters aren't out here yet, they're still tremendously dangerous and there are no cops in sight. None of them at all. And, I have really bad news for all these people out here that screamed and whined all weekend. Donald Trump is still your president. I've independently confirmed that. So sorry to tell them that. Nothing has changed. Except today we had a huge win in the appeals court, as we knew. The appeals court lifted the block that an activist judge out here in Portland put on the National Guard being deployed to this facility out here. They try to act like this is peaceful out here, Sean, but if you look at the windows in the background of the ICE facility, or I'm sorry, the lack thereof, because they've been broken out by these rioters in over the past 100+ days, they're out here constantly. They never go away. I don't know if there's anything peaceful about breaking windows, setting fires in the road. Maybe I'm just wrong on that. I don't know. Correct me.
What did you see this weekend, Nick?
Utter lawlessness. I mean, they sent out Portland police and Oregon state troopers out here that were given commands from the top to retreat every single time that things got dicey. And the people of Oregon, keep in mind, this is an American city. These people deserve better. They are victims of the government's total refusal to keep them safe, enforce noise ordinances. I mean, you hear these horns honking all day. This building right behind me is an apartment complex that houses veterans and young parents, and none of them are able to get the noise ordinances enforced. They are victims of the system. Yeah, and Sean, that's why now I'm all the way down the street with 3.
So if you got value for this report, tap subscribe. My final thought is next. You see, this is what leadership actually looks like. While Gavin Newsom claims that Trump will ruin San Francisco by cleaning it up, Memphis families are celebrating the first taste of safety in years. The young boy thanking President Trump because he can finally play outside without dodging drug dealers and gang violence. That's the real story the media won't tell you. Democrat officials are literally threatening to arrest National Guard troops for enforcing federal law. Think about that insanity. Zoe Lofgren wants to jail soldiers who protect Americans. David Chu is suing to keep chaos in the streets. These are not public servants. They're anarchist enablers who turned our cities into war zones. In the Ninth Circuit ruling, it changes everything. Federal authority trumps local corruption. Law and order beats liberal lunacy. So here's my question. Should any mayor who threatens to arrest federal troops be charged with sedition? Yes or no? Drop your answer below and grab some merch to show you stand with the Guard.